What's up, folks? Sean, the Average Angler. We're back in action after a little bit of a rough weekend traveling to go help mom again and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, we're back in action. Hopefully work's going to calm down a little bit, give me a little break because I'm kind of tired. To the winners, I will get your stuff shipped tomorrow, I believe. And Chris, I got your box ready too. So everybody be looking for your stuff coming in the next week or so. All right. If you're new to the channel, you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button down there. Join the Average Angler community. You know you want to do it. Doesn't cost you anything. We are on a mission to hit 10,000 subscribers, and when we get there, we're going to have a big giveaway. We don't know yet what yet. We're still a little ways away, but if you can help out by clicking today. All right, so it is summertime. I'm sure everybody knows that. Probably sweating your balls off, and it's kind of a mild week here at the Average Angler Casa. It is summer. We all know it's summer. It's been hot. Most of our lakes got a lot of grass, weed growth right now. Cover, if you're in a natural lake or something, you may have some algae blooms where the water's dirtying up a little bit. We got something for everybody today, and this is going to be a little bit something different, not on our typical. So one of these you're going to see in the August baits, okay? One of these you're not. But these are great ways to fish, and this is how I'm approaching one lake. It's going to be earlier in the day when we have low light situations, morning, and then as we go into the afternoon. First thing in the morning, obviously, I'm going to try and fish some sort of topwater. So we're not going to get too much into the topwater right now. I'm just telling you, I would throw topwater early. I'm going to fish shallow, fish some topwater, and then we're going to transition as that sun starts to get up and that bite goes away. And sometimes it may not go away. And if that's the case, if you're anything like me, love topwater fishing, hey, let's just stick with it. Most of the time, that's not the case. So I am going to go to flipping and punching. So I want a weight, and this, don't look at this one. I'm doing this more for the bait here. I want something that's going to fall fast. So 1/2+ ounce. A lot of times 3/4, and I will go up to a 3/4 in 1.5 foot water. Want something really, don't give them a lot of time to think about it. You will be surprised how quickly a bass can react. That bait I showed you is one of my favorites. That is a Magnum Rage Bug, okay? Strike King Magnum Rage Bug. I really like this bait because it's got good kicking action, okay? We got ribbed body to move a lot of water, but then we have the Rage tails on the claws and the kickers here, and these make a really great profile. This one here happens to be Falcon Lake craw, green pumpkin on one side, it's kind of a nice red on the other. Very good natural craw type pattern. Works really, really well for me. August going into September, I think those craws must start changing colors or something. I'm not really sure why, but I just know that that one works really, really well. The heavier weight gets that bait moving much, much faster. It just triggers strikes. Now I'm going to give you a little bonus here that I'm going to tell you as we go through the day, okay? Because I'm going to do this a little early. I want to do this when the sun's getting up. The topwater bites kind of stop, but we still have some good activity around those outer weed edges. So I'm going to punch, flip into the weeds a little bit, but I still want to stay near that edge and capitalize on the activity that's already going on. Typically those fish will be up in the morning feeding on shad, feeding on bluegill. Edges are always a great place to catch fish. I am using either a iRod Air 754, okay, and these are going to be for all these techniques today. This is an iRod Air 754, 7'5" heavy. I will also use the iRod Air 775 heavy, okay, same thing. I got 18-pound shooter on the 754. I got 20-pound FC Sniper on the 775. And as an alternative, because sometimes fish are moody, right? Sometimes fish want that bait that doesn't have a lot of action. This is a Strike King rodent. Happens to be Greg Hackney's favorite bait. Very much a beaver style bait. The claws do not kick. This is basically a profile bait. Ribbed very much like a Reaction Innovation Sweet Beaver. Same type of bait. You could use a Sweet Beaver also. The differences, I would say, are those little arms right there, right? Those bulbous arms. Typically for these types of applications, my reels are going to be 7 or 8 to 1. This one's a 7 to 1. This one's an 8 to 1. Oh, that's for the other technique we haven't got to. You guys are gonna like that one. And 7 to 1. Very simple. These are quick presentations. We're gonna flip it, pitch it in there, let it go down to the bottom. I'm gonna pick it up once, let it go back down. Now when exiting, meaning pulling your bait up, until I figure out the bite, a lot of times I like to reel up to the bottom of the mat and just shake it for a second, then pull it out. A lot of times those fish are watching, they'll follow that thing up and they'll eat it off the bottom of the top of the mat. Reason being is a lot of times crawdads will spawn in the weed mats, and they spawn high up in the weed mat. So if that's going on, just remember, don't just pull your bait right out. Pull it back up to the top, shake it a little bit like it's hanging off the bottom of the weeds, and see if it doesn't get you a bite. If that's the case, then you can go ahead and do that all day long. So as we get a little later into the day, we're gonna kind of hit a lull most of the time. And that lull will cease usually around the hottest time of the day, typically after 12, 1 o'clock. When it gets really hot out, stagnant, the fish will kind of be in a lull. Now it turns back on, and we're going to go over that in a minute. But first, we are going to go out to deeper water. We want rock piles, ledges. You can do this on points. Typically, I like rocky areas. Again, this is at 754. I got 18-pound Sunline shooter. I have a minimum 3/4 ounce football jig. And you see that nice big Rage Craw trailer. Okay, I want a good presence with this technique. And this is probably not what you think. So pay attention here. I'm going to give you some juice, something not everybody's doing and is very effective. First, we're going to cover an alternative. Now, this is my big bulky presentation. That happens to be a Sandtone M-Series football head, 3/4 ounce. It comes with some rattles on it. I pull the rattles off for this. I really don't want anything else in the way. Sandtone makes a good one. There's lots of good football jigs out here. Here is another one. This is going to be my little more compact setup. Notice I cut the weed guard off. Okay, nothing in the way of these fish when they bite. Now this trailer is a Rage Craw chunk. So much shorter body here, so we're not going to be sticking as far back as you see there. Much more compact presentation. Now you just got to figure out what works better for you on your body of water, and it can change hour to hour, day to day. But what we want to do is get that jig out there, and boy, we're going to rip it off the bottom. Depending on how far out your cast is how hard you want to hit it up. But we want that bait to jump off the bottom and then crash back down. Very similar to that of snapping a tube or snapping a jig. I'm looking at Clear Lake, maybe some Texas lakes, Guntersville, these types of lakes as when I'm going to use that setup. Now, if you're on a smallmouth lake or your population of big fish isn't the same, maybe you're dealing with northern strains, then we might downsize to one of those Johnny C football jigs, or maybe we even get down to a Kitech. The purpose is going to be the same. Fish are very, very aggressive this time of year, and snapping a jig can be a great way to get some really big bites for your body of water. And boy, let me tell you, when you get on them, you can really get on them. So many, many years ago, I learned about this at Clear Lake too. In the afternoon, late afternoon, we're talking about 1 o'clock on, okay? So when the sun is high up, it's a good time to go back shallow. I know, we're gonna go back shallow when it's 98 to 108 degrees out. But hear me out here, because this one is really, really good. Doesn't get a lot of pressure, and it'll work on your lake too. I'm going to go back to the shallow end of the lake, and I'm going to look for the little mats, okay? Maybe they're this big, maybe they're this big. I don't want them too big. I want isolated mats that a big fish can dominate, have his shade, sitting there and wait for a meal to come by. We are going to go punching, flipping those particular mats. Okay, typically 3/4 of an ounce. I'm not really going to punch into the middle of them to begin. We are going to throw right on the edges of it. That fish is dominating that mat, he's dominating that area, and he will come out and get that bait. If you have a lot of these, you want to work through them pretty fast. But a big fish will dominate that mat. We're not sitting there looking to get 3-4 fish out of them. Not saying it can't happen, but that would be very, very rare. But this is a great way to catch a big fish. Short line with your meat stick, flipping stick, pitching rod, right? 20-pound test. And they hammer that thing. You drop that 3/4 ounce flipping bait into their house, they're coming for it. This is the juice. I'm telling you guys, you got to get out and try this. And look, I bet you it's all over the northern part of the country. Also, you get into some of those largemouth lakes that have grass way up north, I bet you find out this is very, very effective. All right, I'm Sean, the Average Angler. Thanks for watching. We're going to see you on the next one.